All right, and we are live tonight again with my really a regular dude, Brett Big Wagner.
Schwagner's fine. I've been called
Schwagner.
worse.
I told you I just woke up. So the big Schwag, Brett Wagner, the Kemper Killer himself, Mr. Crazies, John Mustaine in the end. I love your part in that one. That was kind of a recent jewel for me to catch you in
It's a,
that
it's
movie.
a it's a fun movie, and more importantly, I got to be directed by Don Coscarelli, which obviously that was
It, it,
uh, that was a big deal for me because he's one of the reasons I got into the acting business.
Yeah, it was a different kind of movie, but it was a well done movie, and your scene in it was definitely got me into the movie right away. And tonight we're joined by Midwest Monster Fest promoter owner, Mr. Jeff O'Neill. How are you doing tonight? I love your
Good. How
cutout.
you guys
I
doing?
happen to bring one of my own.
How
No,
you
doing
doing,
good.
Jeff?
What's that?
I said, how are you, buddy?
Oh, doing good. Just kicking back, relaxing. Not
All right,
off to
so
work.
I got a couple good questions. I mean, obviously, now where you do this show in East Moline, so the
Yep.
Quad Cities, correct? Is that what we call it, the Quad City area?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Were you born and raised out there? How did you get to the Moline and out that way to do stuff?
I was born in town Silvis, which is right next to East Moline. So I've
Okay.
been in this area my whole life. Well, except for a little bit when I was a baby. And we moved away to Texas for a little bit, but then wasn't long. I don't remember it. I was too young.
I was telling John, our host with the most there, that I love the Quad Cities. I have been going out there I was out there for 10 years in a row doing emceeing at the Sturgis on the River, the bike event, the motorcycle event they had there for years, and done the car show out there as well. And go do the radio whenever I'm in town, call the guys out that way. And I love the Quad Cities, and I love Steve's Old Time Tap out there to get a nice burger and get a tasty beverage.
Right. Yeah, they do. That's a pretty good burger.
But Midwest Monster Fest. Now, did you grow up loving the horror business, the movies, and all that genre? And if you did, give me some of what got you into the horror movies, and what did you like about the genre?
I started watching as a kid. I was the youngest out of four, so growing up, we mainly only had one TV, so I had to watch what was on. So it was either watch what was on or I wasn't watching anything at all. So it got me into horror films at a younger age. I remember watching The Exorcist at very young, Friday the 13th, and the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I remember seeing that young. I remember it scaring the shit out of me. But it just, I don't know, just that thrill, kind of like, it's getting that scare, especially as a kid, watching that stuff. It's kind of like riding a roller coaster. You get that thrill from, that drop or that twist or turn or flipping you upside down. You get that, that spook. And I kind of love going to that, and that's what got me into wanting to, go into haunted houses at a younger age. I just always loved that spooky side of thing. I always looked more forward to Halloween than I ever did for Christmas when I was younger. It was always my favorite thing, my favorite time of year. I always made it yearly, not just October.
So now, once you got a little bit older, did you go to any? I mean, there had to be a couple conventions, horror conventions, you probably went to.
Yeah, I started going to some. I have my son will be 18 in February, so I've raised him myself since he was a year old. So once he started getting to that age where he started watching the films, I started taking him to a couple smaller conventions. Then I took him to a couple bigger ones, and we really enjoyed going to them. We had to travel a little bit to go to them, and it was just like, oh, we love these things. And, just, I wish I would have known about them a little bit earlier, but I was busy raising a kid by myself, so I didn't have that time, I guess.
Yeah, I love, since we've been friends on Facebook and been chatting for the last couple of years, I love watching. You are definitely one of those fathers that includes and does stuff with his son, because I always love watching on Facebook when you got stuff and you're going to concerts with your son, or you guys are doing stuff together. And Father of the Year, at least for you, for 2022, I saw a lot of stuff with you and your kid on Facebook, and that always, it's a nice thing to do. So kudos to you. So how did you transition from being a fan of the movies, going to some conventions with your son, to going, you know what, I'm going to start my own convention?
Well, I mean, we talked about it for a couple of years, me and my son. I was like, I'd love to do it. Well, December 2018, I tore my bicep. I was going to be off work for 7 months. So I had to do something to keep myself occupied, or I was going to lose my mind, because I hurt myself outside of work. So it's not like I was still, because if you got hurt at work, if I would have got hurt at work, they would have still had me go, but doing light duty stuff. But since I got hurt outside of work, I had to wait till I was 100%. So I told my kid once it got hurt, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it. If it works, it works. If it don't, at least I gave it a shot. And kind of one of those incidences where you take, like that saying, you turn lemons into lemonade. It's tried to make the best of my time off, and it turned out good. And the first year we did it was in 2019. It was at a smaller venue in Moline, Illinois, which is right by there. Of course, it's Moline, but it's called the Spotlight Event Center. And it was an old Scottish Rite Cathedral, an old Mason building. It had this castle-like look, and I'm like, man, I gotta have it back, because it was just really neat. It worked out good, but it just outgrew itself that first year. And I had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reunion with John Dugan, Ed Neal, and Terry McNitt.
So those were the. How many guests did you have the first time? Was it just the Texas Chainsaw? Or?
Yeah, I had a couple other. I had Wyatt Weed. He was the Boar Predator and Predator 2, and then a local girl named Layla Haley. She was in Sinister 2, and Scott Beck and Brian Woods. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them or not. They're directors of stuff. They wrote they wrote the first A Quiet Place.
Oh yeah.
The movie Haunt. They also just came out with another movie. They're from this area as well, and they released a movie that same weekend that I had my first show, and they ended up doing a screening of the movie locally, and they stopped by with one of the actors, which was kind of fun, to have those guys stop in.
Big John.
So, one of the things I got to commend you on is, you involve the family. And I know what it is like with these conventions. One of the things I really love about the conventions, it's not just meeting the celebrities and this and that. It's the way it's brought my family close. You should see my mom and dad. Maybe they can fly in for this one, because my mom's a hoot. She's on her scooter, just runs around the place. We've all become close. So me and my sisters, my parents, when we go to do one of these conventions, and it's so much fun. The fact that you're doing it with your son, how much fun does that add to what you're doing?
Oh, it is, especially that, he's limited on a lot of the work he can do, of course, but he's gung-ho. He helps me out a lot, and he's a talented kid, man. He's an artist. He can draw some pretty good stuff, and he's hoping to go to college for art, graphic arts. So that's his plan, and so he's a lot of help with that aspect of if I need something drawn up or anything like that. He gets on some stuff for me.
That's very cool.
What were you after you did the first one? You said you outgrew the place right away.
Yep.
I know you kind of do two different ones. You do the halfway to Halloween show, and then you do your main one, which is coming up. So how did that all come about, doing two?
That was just something to kind of do. That was kind of fun. I'm not going to do that this year, just for the mere fact that, I had that curveball thrown at me last year with the heart issue I had. But I figured I'll just tone it down to just one a year, let things kind of roll. Because it's, it makes it fun too. But I might do, some other kind of little fun little things, later on. But
Yeah, that's
it
a
was
lot. Listen, that's got to be a lot of. If folks don't know, we were slated to do. I was going to come out next year. Jeff had a little bit of a heart issue and decided, hey, you know what? And it was brought on by stress. If I remember you telling me, we're not talking about, we're not giving secrets away. So you decided that we would cancel last year and then we would come back strong this year.
correct.
And congratulations. I'm glad you're doing better and we're getting to do this. But yeah, I gotta imagine, you being the promoter and doing everything, it's gotta be a lot of stress. I mean, you're trying to book, the major guests in, you're trying to get music guys in there, you're trying to do all this stuff. It's gotta be stressful, especially when you're trying to do 2 shows a year.
Right. Oh, you get spread thin for sure, and it's, I mean, it's, you get pulled in all these different directions, but I guess I have that a good mindset for it, but I have to learn to, and I've been doing better at giving some other people, here, help me out with this. I was, and it's not like a power trip thing. It's just, I love to work, and I'm always that type that loves to stay busy.
But there also has to be that trust thing too. You got a lot of responsibility in your hands, so I totally get it from your end.
Sure.
It can be overwhelming. I can only imagine from.
I hear it from my son. I hear it from my girlfriend. I hear it on a regular. So yeah.
And right now, you got some great guests going along with the big Schwag. You got Miss Felissa Rose, who is awesome. She's just, I mean, I've met her a few times. One of the sweetest people I've met at any convention. I've heard people say, oh, until you meet Felissa, you don't realize she is the nicest person out there. And she truly is. So every fan's in for a treat with her. My buddy, the big Schwag's always cool to me. He's always bringing that cool stuff to sign and talk to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre fans, talk about his work, talk about the films. And that's what I love about Brett. We've had conversations about all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, and that's been a lot of fun. And you also got Miko Hughes, who was in Pet Cemetery, obviously, Mercury Rising, and Kindergarten Cop. So, I mean, I've met him once before vaguely, but very cool person. He was so busy with the fans, and I watched from kind of outside looking in at what he was doing, and that's another solid guest.
Right, and he seems very personable, and that's what I try to find, in those, is try to find people that just love to get out and be with the fans and interact with the fans, and most anybody does that is in the convention circuit, because that's that you gotta have, you kind of have to,
you got 3 good ones already,
and I wanted to fire off a few of them just to kind of, say, hey, it's back on and going. I'm going to gradually start putting some more out, just doing some kind of spread them out a little bit, but
might we get a little scoop right here on Doomsday's Krypt? Could we get a little scoop, and maybe could you throw us one more guest that you probably were going to do in a week or two? Maybe we could do that tonight, maybe?
Yep. I'll leak one out.
Okay.
That'll be a fun one.
All right. Now let's talk about some of the guests you've had in the past as well. I mean, you've had some really cool. I know you have had Doug Tate down there. Doug's a good friend of mine out here in LA. He's a younger version of me and a better looking, so he keeps getting all the good gigs. But Doug's a great guest to have there.
Awesome guy.
Yep. I've had in 21 did a Friday the 13th 6 reunion. So I had CJ Graham, Tom Matthews, Darcy DeMoss, and Tom Fridley. And that was pretty fun. CJ got in his full costume, and I mean, he gets into it. I mean, when he gets in that costume, he's in character. I mean, he's a big dude,
He is. He's still, that dude is, I've met him a few times, and CJ is one of the coolest people. He's one of the most straight shooters you'll ever meet. And Tom Matthews is great. We actually were talking about them too the other night, me and Brett. And those two are fantastic. I've been lucky enough to meet Tom Matthews, at least 3-4 times, and CJ a couple times. I'm actually going to be seeing CJ next month in Missouri. He's at an event, so I'm excited to see him again. And I can only imagine when he's dressed up. He didn't do the dress up thing, but he's already an intense guy. Super cool guy, but intense. Loves the fans and really gives people an experience. That's what I love about CJ. He's funny as anything. You get a chance to really talk to him. He's one of those straight shooter. Not like I'm telling you a funny story, but his stories are just entertaining at the way he tells them and how it comes out.
Right. Oh yeah, he'll bust your balls quick. So here's a funny CJ story. So that morning that we were all running people back to the airport at the end of the show. It was the next day. So I went there that morning. I had to go pick up Clint Howard, and then my buddy Jason Whitmarsh, he had to go and pick up CJ. I woke up in the morning, didn't even think about what T-shirt I was throwing on. I just threw it on, showed up there, the Michael Myers shirt.
Oh,
damn! CJ was busting my balls.
No.
I was like, he made me feel like I was like 4 foot freaking tall. I was like, man, dude. But he was just.
He did the same thing at our table because I got a lot of Michael Myers. I got some Jason stuff. I got a mixture of both, but a lot of my big stuff just happened to be Michael Myers stuff. But I have, a lot of Jason stuff. There's a picture of CJ, and he's got his hand like that, resting over a Michael Myers mask of one of the ones I had in my film. And it's too funny because the Vengeance movie was in. His standing in the cutout of him as Elias Voorhees is right next to his actual head. So he's got the long hair, you got the short hair, CJ, and his hand going right over one of the Michael Myers busts. He is not a Michael Myers fan.
No.
And he definitely let me know at the event. Is there any Michael Myers people here? Is there anybody even from Michael Myers here? We got Kane Hodder here. We got me here. We got Tom Matthews here. And you got Michael Myers. And it was right after end. So I was I'm not sure how many people will like the Michael Myers. But I was at a few events. In this event I went to, I didn't really expect because I always go in prepared. But it was like an event that I prepared 3 weeks for, got everything ready right after another event. And they're like, all right, well, we got some Jason, we got some Michael Myers, we're going to make a kick-ass table. And CJ wasn't having that, Michael Myers was more of a centerpiece at my table than Jason. He wasn't too thrilled. And like you said, he's a ball buster. You put Michael Myers on the table or you got a Michael Myers shirt and you go meet CJ Graham, you're in trouble. I might, when I see him next month, make sure I wear a Halloween shirt or get a Doomsday's Krypt shirt with a big old Michael Myers picture on him and, pushing, Jason away. I'll have my artist do and, go up there so he sees me. I'll Doomsday's Krypt, and when I'm leaving, he sees Michael Myers kind of, getting him back for busting my chops so bad the last time we saw him.
I tell you, Clint Howard was an interesting fella too. He was fun. He was a lot of fun.
I've heard great things about Clint Howard.
He was a lot. He was really funny. When we did the costume contest, he went up on stage and he helped MC it, which was absolutely amazing. It was a lot of fun.
Clint Howard's great. He married a good friend of mine. Her name's Kat, and they've been married a couple of years now, and she is an ex-boxer. So if anybody ever gives Clint a hard time, his wife can come over and give him a 1-2, and that's it.
Right. His wife and the daughter came with.
Yep.
And she even got in the costume contest, and it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Clint's doing a lot of shows as of late. He's a good dude. He's been in so much stuff. I mean, when I was growing up, and Gentle Ben, for God's sakes, was a show that I watched as a kid. And then you kind of grow up with a guy like Clint, and then you see him in all his movies and all the TV shows. And you're like, man, I grew up with this guy in my house. I got to tell him that when I see him. We're going to be doing a show. I think we're doing a show in Tennessee together. And I think we're going to go have some dinner with him and his wife in a couple weeks out here in Hollywood. We're going to go have some din. But yeah, what a great CJ, Clint, and the Doug Tates and some of these people.
Doug Tate,
they make it a good experience for the fans, like you said, it's important if you're going to be booking people to make sure when these guests come in, not only are, the promoters paying them and getting them, paying for their flights and getting them rooms. If you come in and you're just a bore or a dud and you don't treat those fans, then they don't have a good experience. And then it's just a
Right.
nightmare, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you don't get too many of those. I haven't had too many of those.
That's good.
It happens.
I'll be your first.
I've been lucky. Every event I've been to, I'll tell you, in the horror community, a lot of the legends that go to the shows, 99.99% that I've met have been super cool. I mean,
right. Yeah,
they've always been personable. But you get those ones who go, that leave that imprint. I can tell you, CJ's one of them. Doug Tate's another one. Brett, I haven't even been to a convention, but me and Brett just became fast friends. So I'm looking forward to Midwest Monster Fest and spending time with him because I see what Brett does all the time, and such a likable guy. Miko Hughes is another great one. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time with him because I was kind of running around crazy having my booth. But he was always with the fans. You could just outside looking in how much fun he was having talking to the fans and embracing them. And those are the guests I find that are so much fun for the fans, where they'll just take that extra step. And most of them are always cool, but the ones who just take that extra step to go, this is a great fan. They're excited to meet me. I'm gonna take that little bit of extra time to make their experience special. And yeah. Felissa's a big time one of them, and Brett, I think you're already on with the three you have announced. I know you got some in the wings, and we talked about possibly announcing another one, but you got three great guests that I think the fans are going to love.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I'm working on it. I've got a list I've already been working on already, but
let's talk a little bit about music, Jeff. I know you are a music guy, and some of the guests that you bring in also are music folks.
Yep.
And you like, you like a little bit of the heavier stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm into metal, but just like in 21, I grew up Living Color fan, the band. I just love those guys. When I had the opportunity to bring in Corey Glover, I had to bring in Corey Glover.
Sure.
So I brought in Corey. To me, that I was more. It may sound weird, but I was more excited about me having him come in town than most all the other people that I had there, because that brought me back to the first time that I went and saw them in concert, which was in 1991 at a little venue over in Davenport, Iowa. And I'll always remember that, So it was like, man, I'm breaking that to you, and that was, to me, that was pretty damn cool. But music and horror movies is pretty much how I look at my life. You know what I mean? My son, of course, my life, but that's kind of helped mold me into who I am, is the music I listen to, the movies I like. And I'm like, I have a, kind of a different sense of humor, at times, but, I like to have fun. But yeah.
We have a wonderful person in the chat tonight. We have Freddy Krueger's mom. I brought her son. I knew there was a reason I must have brought him. Beatrice Buckley. Miss Amanda Krueger herself in the chat there, popping her head in. Hey, Beatrice, so good to see you. She's one other wonderful person, just like Mr. Brett Wagner, that I love seeing at events. I've been able to spend time with Beatrice, one of the most down-to-earth people you will ever meet in your life. And good to see you, Beatrice. I know she just got over the holidays, spending time with the family. Son's home from college, and big shout out to Beatrice. And she's saying hi to Mr. Peter Hantz. We'll say hi to both of you guys out there. And it's past her bedtime, but she even stayed up late to come check out the show and say hi to Mr. Jeff O'Neill and Midwest Monster Fest.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that was another thing too. I've been notorious for having some pretty strenuous days at work. I've been making sure I'm not falling asleep on the couch. That's that happens. Sit down and watch a little TV and just kind of conk out a little bit.
Jeff, let's talk about some of the music guys you have brought in besides Living Color. You've had, I mean, you've
Richie Ramone, brought David Ellison.
Megadeth.
Well, I didn't bring this guest in. Well, this musician in as a guest. He just came in to check out the event, which that was my first year with Morgan Rose, from the drummer for Seven Dust.
Oh yeah,
he was in town that weekend, and a mutual friend, I hit him up and I told him about, hey, I'll throw you some tickets, and both of those two stopped by, which I thought that was pretty cool. I think the first time I saw Seven Dust was like 95, well, maybe 96, somewhere like that. It was a while ago.
Well, you definitely are in an area, if people don't know. I mean, where you are in the Midwest and the Quad Cities and everything, there's a lot of good music,
right,
a lot of good shows that you can get in a car and not drive too far to go see where you are out there.
For sure. Yeah, I try to hit as many shows as I can, but it's fun. It's love live music.
Life gets in the way sometimes when you're trying to go see a lot of shows. I know I haven't. I always try, if I'm at a convention, I'm always excited sometimes when they got a band coming in, and hopefully I'm not going to say this wrong with that, but Ice Nine Kills, is that the band?
Yeah.
Those guys are playing a lot everywhere.
Yeah, they do a lot of conventions. I was at one with them and Corey Taylor. Actually, I'll be seeing Corey Taylor again next weekend, and I'll tell you, I haven't been to a show in a long time, which is a bummer. Now we're talking about all these shows, like music shows. But luckily, the closest thing to a show was my table was right by the stage. So I got to hear Corey Taylor and Ice Nine Kills. And those guys are so much fun to listen. And such big horror fans. They are great to bring to these events that when you can, with the music and the artists. I know Ari Lehman does a lot of it too. He's a great draw with what he's doing with First Jason and his band. And you had music and horror. You can't go wrong. Electric guitars, some metal, and horror. You just can't go wrong.
Right.
No, yeah, you had the guys from Lucid in, which I like, which is Dave Elson, and I'm going to kill the singer's name. What's his name again?
Well, oh no, the singer wasn't there. It was he ended up having to cancel. He ended up with a health issue he had to go take care of.
Okay.
That was, I can't believe I'm having
a brain fart too, and I'm friends with them on Facebook, and I can't think of it.
I hate when that happens. It's like right on the tip of your tongue, and it's I'll think about it later and then smack myself in the face.
I think John just stepped off probably to go. Oh, there he's coming back there somewhere. But listen, Jeff, tell me a little bit about what the folks can expect this year at Midwest Monster Fest. Talk about some of the stuff that's going to go on inside the show.
Well, I mean, I got a lot of vendors. I've already got probably damn near 50, close to 60 vendors already. With just really putting them on sale. Some of them rolled over from last year when the event postponed. But of course, going to have the Independent Film Fest, which that'll be on Saturday. That'll be in a room that was held in the Rust Belt as well. That is there's like this huge bar, and it worked out perfect in 2021 for it.
So we're going to be watching some movies.
Yep, there'll be some movies there. So there'll be the films that are selected through the film fest that will be played. That of course, there'll be adult, over 18, because most of them will be, for the most part, rated R. So I have to make sure I have little signs on the outside. But
sure.
Costume contest, we'll be doing that Saturday. A horror themed tattoo contest, which I thought that'd be something fun to add this year that we've never done before. We've done the FX contest in the past, but it just was so hard, and we had so many people that sounded like they were interested, but when it come down to the date, we only ended up with 1, 2, maybe 3 people. That finally got like 3 people at the last one. It's like, all right, maybe we'll kind of change it up. Some people like showing off their tattoos, so this will be something fun.
Yeah, I know firsthand the Midwest is, from doing the the bike show there for 10 years. People love their tattoos.
Yes, there's a lot of tattoos around here. For sure.
Now, do we have any? Is there any place that we might be able to? We're going to have any music at all coming in, or?
Yeah, I know I do plan on doing a after party on Saturday night, but see, now the Rust Belt, the venue that the event is at, is an old factory that it actually is renovated into a concert venue, which it's a really neat place. I mean, it has that rustic kind of look to it, but it's been updated with a lot of different things too. And to me, it's a very fitting venue. And I didn't have music in there in 21 when I had the event there, but I would like to look into doing some music there this time. Maybe I'll go ahead and leak that one guest now. Should I do that now?
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
The music side of it, we're talking about, you brought up music, so that might as well just roll right into this guest here. Sherry Curry, the lead singer for the Runaways.
Whoa!
Nice.
She's going to be guest there both days for the weekend, and she has agreed to perform 4 songs there.
Wow!
How cool is that? No, that's awesome,
she does
man.
have some horror in her, list of things. She was in Twilight Zone, the movie, which was made in '83, Parasite '82. So I mean, there's been, so she's fitting. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to add a little music,
What a great announcement, though, man.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
Fun, and might as well roll right into it. We were talking about music, and I'm like, all right, I might as well just throw it out there right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great guest. I mean, the hard time I have is when I go do these shows. I specifically, Jeff, became an actor because I wanted to be in horror movies.
Right.
I grew up The Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, all the Universal horror movies, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits. I'm 55 years old, so when I was a kid, that's what I would sit down in front of the TV set and watch. That was my thing. And then when I got into my type, started to be about 17, 18 years old, I was like, I know I want to be an actor, and I'll figure a way how to do this. And I really want to be in horror movies, and I want to be this next guy. And I never thought it would ever happen. I was this big guy with a flat top, and I was playing a lot of, cop number 2 who has no words, and mechanic number 5 that doesn't say a word. And finally, I started to get a little bit of some TV stuff and getting under makeup. So my problem with me is I go to these conventions and I see people, whether they're older or whether they're in new movies, and I'm like, God, I got to go get an autograph, or I got to get a picture. I got to say hello. So problem is that when I'm done with a convention, I'm usually bringing so much stuff home that I either got to buy another suitcase or I got to ship everything home.
Ship it back.
I have the same problem just as a vendor. It's like, oh, I need to bring this. Oh, I need to bring that. And I wind up having more stuff under my table than I can display. And I know with your part, Brett, how you are. You love to bring a little bit of anything that you see is cool for the fans that they might like as a collector of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a little bit of memorabilia, the big Schwag. And you definitely bring it. And it adds up, even the little things. It's like, I don't have that much. And then you go to put it in the bags and you go. It's like, wow, I packed a lot of stuff. I did not expect this.
Yeah, my thing is I got to ship stuff now. Like, I will be at Horror Hound weekend in March, and I will literally, and thank goodness, the promoter is like, yeah, you can ship stuff to my house, because Funko Pops are a big deal. I love signing the Funko Pops. But, you bring 30 or 40 of those, that's a lot. You need like 2 suitcases full. So it's easier to ship stuff to the venue. And I'm sure, Jeff, I'll be asking you to give me an address or, where I can ship stuff to. Because, and I'm always afraid that I'm going to run out of something, right? Someone's going to come up to the table. It'll be the last 5 minutes of the show. And they're going to say, man, I came to get something. Where are those? And I don't have them. So it's just like packing, right, for clothes. I'm 6'5", 320 pounds. I always pack way too much stuff, and then the times that I tried not to bring a lot of stuff, I pack way too little, and it's miserable. So, Jeff, let's talk. Do we have a host hotel where we're going to be at, where folks would be staying?
Yes, there's a Hyatt, which is less than a mile away from the venue. It's a pretty new hotel right along the Mississippi River. It's a perfect place. Yeah,
I'm glad you asked that, Brett, because I still got to book my hotel, and I totally forgot. I was booking everything, and I get confused.
Those links and stuff will be going on the website this week, and then I'll throw that out there all on the social media this week as well, with those links for the hotel.
Yeah, if people don't know, it's the Mississippi River, right? It's
Yep.
It's what that's the dividing line between the Quad Cities right there, the Iowa side and then the Illinois side. Beautiful area, John. You're gonna love it. I mean, I wish you smoked cigars. I don't know. Do you smoke cigars?
You know what? I actually got a cigar right here, my friend. I'm on my night off. I got a cigar.
Oh.
So I am a cigar guy. That's why I turned the camera off and be like, let me find my cigar. I have my cigar. I'm on a night off. I could actually sit inside and have a smoke at the hotel room. They can clean it up after. I don't have to worry about any of that. And I got my cigar right here.
Well, we are going to have a cigar while we're out there. We'll go out there on the, right alongside the Mississippi River right there and have a stogie. So, Jeff, how many guests so we've already talked about, probably have 50, 60. You already got about 50 vendors, and those people can still go to the website or call you and get a spot for the vendors, correct?
Oh, sure. Yep, for sure. And I still, there's a lot of, because there's still a lot out because there's applications that people send, and then I send out invoices. So there's invoices still out that I haven't included in that. Probably 60 vendors. So there's probably a good 15 to 20 invoices that are out. Once those are taken care of, then they'll be pushing close to 80 spots and about
very nice. That's a good amount of vendors. And of course, we got
21. I had close to 100 vendors. 21.
Well, John brings about 8 tables, so that's good. That you can count him in for a solid.
Yeah, I'm almost even thinking about adding on that other 10-foot table too. So I'll reach out to you. I like that elbow room,
I did a little moving around this year because the first year doing this at that event, at that venue, I learned a couple things. Okay, I need to move where the celebrities are. I need to move where the artists are, because when the artists were putting up their big tall walls, it was throwing some really bad shadows to a lot of other vendors. So I'm like, all right, I got to think of some other ways. So I had to do some moving around. So I got it all figured out this year, and it's going to work out great.
I see that some people in our chat room are calling you a liar there, John. They say you're smoking cloves.
Well, to be fair, I kind of am, but I do like cigars, and the reason I got it's a clove cigar, but it's got what is it? It doesn't have THC. It's THC 0. But I enjoy it because it's kind of, with having back surgery in the past and the thought of having to set up this big ass table, or a bunch of them, made my back sore already. So I had to have my clove cigar, as Mike would say. I got a night off, and I'm still not doing THC. I'm just having my clove cigar, as Mike would say. But I do enjoy a cigar. We are definitely going to have a cigar. THC free, most likely. Maybe not. You never know.
What are hey, so Jeff, on the Quad Cities out there, what is some of the cool stuff that people are coming down, and and we get done with the night, or they're a little early? What are some of the cool stuff around there that they might want to check out?
If anybody's into gambling, there's casinos here.
Oh yeah.
There's always,
that could be dangerous after a night of vending.
The American Pickers have their place in LeClaire, Iowa. A lot of people like to go check that out. A few haunted houses should be opening up that weekend.
Oh,
So people are wanting to hit haunted houses. There's a few in this area that are real close. One that's probably maybe a mile and a half away from the host hotel. There's there's a lot of little fun things. We'll have gosh, brain fart.
we have Brooke in the chat room is asking if there's any cool
She was asking
arcades.
arcades. Yeah, I think she was saying there's arcade bars there,
Yeah,
like with the
there's
gambling.
an
And
arcade bar in Moline, and there's one over in Davenport called Analog. It's they got a pizza place in there. It's a pretty fun.
Oh,
pretty
very
quick
nice.
beer there.
And of
I'm
course,
making-
for,
I'm
of
making the
course,
same
for
note
guys
as
like me
Andy.
and John, we could go to Rock Island Armory.
Oh,
Right.
hell yeah, man! I'm down for anything.
Yeah, you can go right across into over to the Arsenal.
Well, it's cool. I mean, I'm so excited about Midwest because I'm gonna take like a couple weeks off. So I'm gonna be on the road doing a few things. And Midwest Monsters are on the home stretch home, and get to hang out with Brett. And I got about a week to go hoteling and just chill out and relax and enjoy the area because it's I'll be hitting Minnesota, Minneapolis, and then on the way back the following weekend is Midwest Monster. So it's going to be a fun week for me. I'm looking forward to planning some things out. I don't know when you're going to head in, Brett, but as soon as you get in, we're going to make sure we get out there and have some fun and do some fun stuff in Illinois because, like you said, in the there's a lot to do. There's a lot of fun things. We're staying away from. We'll go to the casinos, but I'm only taking like $10 with me,
Right.
or my wallet will just look like that.
I like my money. I don't like just throwing it away.
Yeah,
Happened when I would go and try to gamble a little bit, I'd lose it all, and I'm like, you know what? I like my money.
I love Texas Hold'em poker. I don't like to gamble, so it's kind of like unless I'm doing tournament style, I don't really even like to do it. Where it's like, okay, I'll pay $60 to enter this tournament because I win, I lose. You go to one of those open tables, it only takes one hand to lose money, and unless you're betting big money, the dealer gets their cut and this and that. So you don't really. It takes a while to build up, or it can. It doesn't take long to lose it all. It takes a while to build it up, even if you're playing it wise. It depends, So I'm going to look forward to horror. I'm not going to look forward to gambling. I am going to just stay away from the casinos.
Right.
I'm just staying away.
And there'll be plenty of stuff to do. I mean, we're going to do probably an after party on Saturday night somewhere. I need to find a host place that's close and local. So probably do something there. Most likely have some live music at that.
Yeah, watering hole with some right by the event, a nice place that got a stage or something you could put on a show. They'll do real well. The area will do well.
Right.
That'll be a lot of fun for the fans.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great.
I'm going to throw a name in the hat for a band.
All right.
That is in that area. I don't know if you've ever seen them play, Jeff, but King's Kiss.
I believe I have it. I think it's been quite a while.
Yes. I'm going to try to get these guys to reunite for one night only. I was telling John, it's the guys in the band dressed up as Kiss with Elvis singing. So it is one of the funnest bands I've ever seen in my life. I got to announce them on stage 8 out of the 10 years I was doing Sturgis on the River there in Davenport, and they keep threatening to reunite for a one-night show. So I will see what they say, and then we'll get back with you, Jeff, and see if that's possible. But all in all, I know just from some of the other guests that have been there for you and doing some signings that this is a hell of a show to come do. You and your family and everybody else goes overboard to make sure everybody has a good time and that there's a lot of cool stuff to do. And just the convention alone, there's a ton of stuff that's going to be going on. And then in the surrounding areas, there's a lot of cool stuff. So it's going to be a win-win, and I'm excited that John's coming down there to take a look at it. And, a lot of people look at Carl Cooney saying King's Kiss is retired. Well, yes, but that's why I'm saying I'm gonna ask for a favor for them to come out and see if they'll
Yeah, well,
reunite.
they haven't seen the big Schwag with the chainsaw running through the door and saying, "Hey, can you kindly
Yeah,
reunite just for this one show?"
but now, real quick, I know you're talking about some art, and I know you do a lot of cool stuff, and I know your son does.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about some of the artists and what's going to be going on there as well with the art.
There's shoot, I can probably see him. Look at there'll be Jeremiah Lambert, Joel Robinson, John Rodriguez. There's a lot of different local artists, a lot of guys that are coming in as well. Kevin West, he's from up in Michigan. Joel Robinson, which I was saying, he's from up in Chicago, which he's a hell of an artist. I got him working on tomorrow I'm going to give him a call and get him working on a t-shirt design that I'm want to have some. I want to do something kind of fun, more than just a logo shirt. So I'm going to have a full blown,
Well, I like the logos. I like I love the logo. And
yeah, with Jeremiah Lambert, he's good friend.
Oh, the logo.
Hell of
I gotta always pull up the logo. I'm so proud of my guy Michael Toth out there, giving him a shout out. That artist,
right? No, man, it's this guy Jeremiah. He does all my graphics for guest announcements. So Brett, your picture that when I did the guest announcement, he does all this stuff for me. He does all my logos, and this guy's Jeremiah does all that stuff. So I need to, but I'm gonna have Joel Robinson do my t-shirt design, which he does a lot of. He's done a lot of different like crazy stuff too. So I'm interested to see what he comes up with.
That'll be great. Now, so listen, folks, Midwest Monster Fest, 60 to 70 plus vendors. Who knows? It may even go over 80. You got some music. You got, a ton of celebrities coming in. You got the art. You got the movies. So we're going to do. Oh, and so is it too late to get a movie in?
No, it just actually started doing we'll get a link on the website for it. They'll click on there. But if I know on Facebook, there's a link on there. You can go to the Film Freeway page, and then you can get everything submitted through that way. But we'll probably by the end of this week, we'll have the link on the website where people can go and.
Now, can they be a short, or does it have to be a full-length feature?
It can be short or a full feature. I know there's time restrictions on certain things on it. I'm not sure 100% on those rules. I know we'll get all that posted. I know they're all on the Film Freeway website. If you go to the Facebook page and find that link, go to that, and it'll have all the rules of what each, whether it's a short film or a feature, how much time and what is needed to be in it.
That's great. That's a great opportunity for, new and old filmmakers. I know we're going to see if we can get CJ Vecchio, who's out there in Chicago, maybe to get the Evil 3 in there if he can get it edited in time. That would be awesome.
Quite a few filmmakers I know that are somewhat in the area that I'm sure could enter some really cool films that I think the fans would really enjoy seeing.
I know that the past few, the past times that we've done it, they come from all over, not just from the United States. We got stuff that was coming from Paris and Australia. It was just even China and Japan. It was just like, holy crap! Sitting there looking at that, like, this film is getting sick here from there, But that's kind of wild,
Some of these fan films are insane. They're insanely good. We were talking about CJ Graham and Tom Matthews. Even they've gotten involved in some of these fan films. Darcy DeMoss with the Vengeance 1 and 2 films, the Roseblood films. There's the Sawyer Massacre out there, which Steve Merlot's here. Really, really cool indie films, fan films, but also some really great original projects that are going on. Brettson, you're actually in the Evil 3 by CJ Vecchio. He's right out there. I'd love to see that ready to be edited and watched, because I know it's a stacked cast that you guys got in that too.
Yeah, he's
So
got
yeah,
the first draft on the editing. I guess the first run on the editing he's done, and he said he's real happy. But filmmakers they'll just keep plugging away until you have to drag it from them, and because they always want to be perfectionists. And yeah, there's a lot's great, man. It's nice that the you Jeff and everybody offers so much at this deal. So it's not just it's not just guests, it's not just music, it's not just the vendors, it's not just the art, it's everything and combined. And it's a family friendly event, correct?
Yes. Yep.
people who've never been to a convention don't understand that it's not just going about horror. I mean, even my family, I'll use as an example. They went in not as horror fans, like some of them, some of my nieces, because I got all nieces, no nephews, and they kind of had that smoke taste of horror fan. And by the time they were done with it, they had a smile ear to ear. You see the family coming together. To me, it's a great event to take your family to, your kids to, and something that everybody can enjoy together. Because there's always something at these conventions. You can call it a horror convention, and obviously this is it horror themed, a lot of horror element, but the atmosphere, I think the experience is what I love about conventions the most. It's awesome meeting these celebrities, it's awesome meeting these individual things, but like what Brett was saying, when you combine it all together, whether it's going to the movies, the after show, and hearing a band, you're always going to pull something away that makes the experience special. And there's so much involved, whether it's a table or
Oh,
the
sure.
music or a film experience, watching some of these indie films and the film festivals. I just think with the way things have been, this is the ideal, affordable, family type of thing to do together. That will bring people closer. It really does. That's what I love, and I've seen it from the being a vendor and watching somebody get in a piece that they're like, man, I've always wanted this, and now I own it. And I got to meet Brett Wagner, who was in one of my favorite scenes in the remake, and I've gotten to see him, and it's great seeing him out there lately. I got it signed, and the experience that some of these people can take away, it goes. You don't forget about it. Even as a vendor, I don't forget about these experiences. That's why I keep doing them, and I'm like, oh, I'm done. I'll get done packing everything up. I don't want to do this anytime soon. And by like Tuesday of that week, I'm like, man, I wish I was heading to another event.
No, it was, you talking about, how having fun and being at those things. That was one thing that I really enjoyed about being a promoter and setting up this kind of stuff. It was a lot of work coming up to the event, just busting my butt. But when I sat back and I watched the people enjoying themselves with their families, just having fun, talking, dressed up, everything all involved, you know, it was kind of nice to sit back like, oh man, just seeing everybody having fun. It made just everything just so worth it. It's all that the work and everything, and the effort to put it all together, to see everyone having fun and enjoying it. It was kind of a nice relief.
Yeah, it's
Man,
impossible
I
to
mean, it all
explain the
sounds good. I
experience.
know I'm super excited to get out there and hang out with you. And I'm still working on a few because I'm coming in a day early. So
Yep.
we're gonna sit there and go grab something to eat and try to get some of these guys that owe me some favors to put us on the radio and let everybody, if everybody doesn't already know, we're gonna let them know that we're gonna be there that weekend and have a good time. And uh, Jeff, if you want to say, if you can say one thing about the Midwest Monster Fest this year, what's it going to be? Let the folks at home listen, knowing what you want to say.
Well, because a lot of people it spooked, it spooked me out with having that heart attack. Some people thought, oh, this must be the end of Midwest Monster Fest. It's not it. I'm gonna come back just as strong and pushing this stuff, and I love doing this kind of stuff, and that's why, like I said, I don't know. It's an adrenaline rush to kind of do this kind of stuff. So I enjoy seeing the enjoyment of people. So I guess I enjoy seeing people enjoy themselves, of being at the event. And so I don't know. I guess the best way to put it is one thing to say is I love to see the people happy, and that's what I want to do. making these events, making that
I
fun.
gotta imagine it pushes you to want to bring even more. I know how it is. You see these people with these big smiles enjoying something that you put on. I think you're gonna have an amazing event this year. Obviously you always want to do good business, but when you get a chance to just see even like one or two people, just they had the time of their life that they'll never forget, and
Right.
you were able to provide that. That's one of the coolest feelings about these events. I gotta imagine that's a big part for you, being a dad and stuff, and even these experiences you're enjoying with your son. I'm putting on a convention. We're hanging out and doing all this cool stuff in horror. I mean, that's gotta be big, be huge for you, man.
It's it's fun, and it's something I want to make sure he's got lasting memories of not just putting on these shows, but going to concerts and going places and doing things, and lasting memories that later on, and when I'm an old man barely getting around, he's telling stories about that stuff. It's telling the grandkids or whatever. So I want to make sure there's good, fond memories with me and my son, and that's why I wanted to kind of do this show together with him. It's kind of something that we could bond together with, and kind of I could teach him and also teach myself on a business aspect, because that was something I did too with this. Is I went that first year into this thing just being, I was a vendor for a while, so I was that person, but I'm a very observant person, so I kind of grabbed whatever pieces I could that that I knew that would work, and made it happen.
Yeah, the vendors always have a great eye for things. So I'm
Yes,
not surprised you were a vendor at one point, and I mean you learn what the people enjoy, even what product to bring. I'm saying that you see for you at your table that people are interested in, and then just the experience and the way they interact and the way things people do it. You see some amazing things like, wow, these guys are doing something amazing. But on the other hand, I'm sure you picked up a lot of things like, oh, this would be cool to do if I ever did one myself. So it's
right.
really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're doing. It's unfortunate about last year. I know that wasn't an easy decision, but this year you're coming back even stronger.
Right.
Already starting off with an amazing guest list, and you know, you are making those memories with your son. I mean, you've already made them, so there's only just going to be these continued memories that your son, your grandkids at some point can all talk about someday. And I think that's worth more than any dollar amount that you can ever make. So,
Right.
congratulations on that, man. I'm looking forward to being at
Appreciate it.
Midwest Monster Fest, bringing a kick-ass table, doing the Doomsday's Krypt thing, and making sure when people come to your event, they see a really cool table. They're gonna meet really cool guests like Brett, and I can guarantee Felissa Rose and Miko. It's gonna be a great experience. And then I'll let you announce it one more time. Who are you bringing? We had a big announcement. I'm going to let you, for
Yep.
the people who weren't here.
Cherie Curry, the lead singer from the Runaways, that's going to perform 4 songs at the event. So probably the closing of the night on Saturday night. Um, got a band lined up that will perform those 4 songs. I'm not going to leak those out. I'll let everybody else come and see those. They will be three out of the 4 will be Runaway songs. So just leave it.
Let's give those dates out again and give the website out.
Yep, September 23rd and 24th at the Rust Belt in East Moline. The website is MidwestMonsterFest.com. All ticket links are on the website. It should be on the Facebook page as well. I'll have to double check on that. But on the website, I know 100% it's up there. All the guests are on there. Coming soon will be links for in costume photo ops. So when Brett does his full Leatherface costume, we'll have that available here in the next, I would say, the month. That'll be available on the website to go purchase.
Penny Staggs in our chat room says, "Good job, Jeff. I'll be there."
She'll be there. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing anybody who happens to be in this chat tonight coming to this event and saying hi. It's so cool when you run into some of these people. I've met so many people that I never thought I'd run into, like Adam Newsom. in Kentucky. So I am looking forward to a few friends I know who've been saying, "Are you doing anything in the Illinois, Chicago area?" Now I am. So I'm hoping to see a bunch of these people. I think it's going to be fantastic. We got music, we got scary, we're gonna have some cool merchandise. We're gonna have the big Schwag Brett Wagner. We're gonna have Flitha Rose. It's you got a great event on your hands, and there's still what 7 months to go. Well, no more than that. 8 months.
Eight.
Well, about 8.5 months, right? You got to give a few weeks of stuff that can still be added on top. I'm sure you're brainstorming things, and you got announcements you're still waiting to go. And this is going to be, I think, a great September event, getting ready for the, setting off that horror season. September to me is the start of it's like my first day, the first month of Halloween that just amps it up till October.
Oh, for sure.
So, Brett.
Well, ladies and man, listen, thank you so much, Jeff O'Neill, for coming on and BSing with us and letting the folks know what's going to be going down. And we appreciate you doing that. And I wish you nothing but the best, and keep up being healthy. And man, I'm real excited to meet you and your son. And we're gonna kick ass while we're out there.
Appreciate it. No, it's going to be a fun weekend for sure. It's look forward to hanging out for sure. It's it'll be fun.
It's definitely on my excited and looking forward to list. I'm really looking forward to Midwest Monster Fest. Just already so many good people I know going to be there. It's been awesome meeting you and talking to you. It'll be great meeting you in person, and you're gonna have a great show. I promise. As a vendor, I'm gonna be putting on something really cool there for you. Definitely gonna have some Leatherface stuff for my boy Brett there. Pop off that Leatherface theme and a bunch of really, really cool stuff. I've been talking to Brett behind the scenes. Maybe we'll bring something special for Midwest Monster Fest and something cool for the fans to collect or check out. So we got some plans. We got, like we said, 8-9 months till we get there. So the gears are already rolling to kind of do what we can to support your event in Midwest Monster Fest.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Peace out, guys. Take care.
See you.
Thanks again, Jeff. Thanks, John.
Yeah, we'll see you. Hey, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right. Later. Thank you, Chad.